Right, karibu sana into the county diary. This is Monica Femius Tuli, Stanley Nyeringita, taking a look at what is going to be expected to be happening this particular day, starting off right here in Nairobi, where the chief of the Kenya Defence Forces, that is General Francis Ogola, expected in the 32nd Eastern Africa Standby Force, that is EASF, Ordinary Policy Organs meeting. Can have a whole live pictures happened as of around 8 a.m. This particular day, and so the ESF POM is basically a whole series of meetings conducted, usually 3 levels that comprise the Experts Working Group, EWG meeting, the meeting of the Committee of Eastern Africa Chiefs of Defense Staff, that is EACDS, and the last but not least, the meeting of the Council of Ministers of Defense and Security of the East Africa region. So today the whole agenda of this particular meeting will be constitution of the Bureau, as well as confirmation of the agenda and program of work. We do have some pictures for you. Cross over and listen into the live pictures.
And defense and security. Today, we find ourselves in the midst of a complex geopolitical dynamics, transnational threats, and emerging challenges that demand a unified and collaborative response. Our agenda during this gathering is comprehensive, touching on a range of issues that demand our attention. It is from inter- and intra-state conflict and security issues, counterterrorism and cyber security challenges, to humanitarian assistance and disaster relief. And our discussions is expected to shape the direction of our joint efforts in addressing these challenges. We shall therefore need to foster a spirit of brotherhood, cooperation, sharing knowledge, intelligence, resources to effectively address these multifaceted concerns in our region. In this interconnected world, the security of one nation is inseparable from the security of the neighbors. It is therefore imperative that we strengthen our regional partnerships, forge new alliances, and enhance interoperability among our armed forces. Together, we can build a resilient defense architecture that not only safeguards our nations, but also promotes prosperity and development for our people. I encourage an open and candid dialogue during our sessions, as it is through honest exchange of ideas that will arrive at effective solutions. Let us leverage on the diversity of our experiences, perspectives, and capabilities to chart a course that fosters stability in the region. Finally, let us approach these challenges with sincerity, recognizing that our shared responsibility extends beyond our borders. Let our discussions and resolutions reflect the values of unity, brotherhood, collaboration, and a shared commitment to building a brighter and more secure future for our Eastern African region. I thank you all, and I look forward to meaningful discussions in the coming 2 days. I thank you, and once again, welcome to Kenya, welcome to Nairobi. Asanteni sana.
It is now time for the group photo. Honorary Chief of Defense and Staff Forces and their representatives and the Inspectors General and their representatives will only attend the group photo. They are going to use it will be on the ground. They are going to use this door to go to the ground. And for the tea break, all participants, they will use these 4 doors. For tea break, tea and coffee break, it will be served here. The tea break and coffee, tea will be served there for CDFs, inspectors general of police and their representatives only. Thank you.
Live pictures there of the 32nd ordinary session of the East African Committee of Chiefs of Defense and Security. The final speaker there speaking, General Francis Ogola, who's the Chief of Defense Forces, and I'll be lighting all that for your appointment there. George Baringa giving you more details on that in our subsequent bulletins. I'll now invite Sheila Chelenga to give us a whole brief on what to expect today in matters politics and all that. Sheila, karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you today.
Good to see you too.
What should you be expecting today?
We have a lot on our diary in the newsroom. First, today is Thursday, which means the post-mortem for the head that was retrieved, that has been said it belongs to Rita Waini, will be conducted today at the city mortuary.
To actually affirm,
Yes, the pathologists say they need to affirm that it's truly hers, and then as well as gather some examinations, samples for examination as well, so that they can find what really transpired during her last moments. With that being said, about 4 suspects are already in custody as we speak. Right. Some Nigerian nationals, as well as 2 Kenyan nationals as well. And investigations now are really ongoing to just find this suspect that is still largely at hand, which comes it's a week after or 2 weeks after
I think last
the murder. Yes, that the murder occurred. And we are looking at finding, according to detectives, apparently they have traced the mobile phone that was retrieved along with her, her head. So it's one of the events that we will be looking forward to today.
And even as much as today's on Thursday, but then I do understand that even I think on Saturday there will be a whole peaceful demonstrations by a group of women, I think from different parts of the country on the same. Do you have more details on that?
Women have been vocal about the whole incident, and so it is one call for women to see that these rampant cases do come to an end. Right. So we had women speak last Friday about the whole issue, just calling on the government to ensure that intimate partner violence does not occur in the country. And so more groups, of course, will be coming forth, because this is a case that is yet to be, put, back and like have investigations done and the perpetrator, nabbed. So
actually have closure on them.
Yes, and have closure and accountability on the whole issue. So it's one case that really still elicits a lot of mixed reactions from the public in general.
Right. What else is the newsroom cooking today?
Today we will have the President, His Excellency William Ruto, and his Deputy Rigathi Gachagua visit Meru for a 3-day tour beginning today. They will be expected to have some projects, launch projects in the area, but what will probably come out and stand out is the politics that have been happening on the central and the Mount Kenya region. So we will be keen to find that out. Yes.
How vocal? Because I mean, Meru is really near, geographically speaking, to the Mount Kenya region per se. How significant really is what he's going to be saying? Today and even in the next 3 days, significant to the whole politics going on?
Well, Stanley, that is for the pundits, and according to pundits, they actually say that it is, I think, it will be very important for them to kill the sort of the fires that are emerging from that region and erupting from that region.
Right.
We hope, the pundits hope, that the president's voice and the deputy president's voice does sort of bring some sort of calm in this area.
Right.
So I'm sure that as even they begin and embark on this 3-day tour, that on their top of their agendas is just ensuring that everyone in that area knows that they're unified and they're working towards a common goal before the elections and even maybe after those elections.
Or maybe after, right.
Yes.
Anything else happening?
We will be having the Second Lady, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi, visit Migori County.
Right.
Beg your pardon. And we will see her launch some projects, and she will meet with some widows for a tree planting exercise.
Okay.
And then after that, she'll meet with the clergy. We know that the Second Lady has been very vocal on issues, drug abuse, and ensuring that she mentors, young people and the youth, especially in this country, to avoid, drug abuse. So we will definitely hear from her on that side. And probably in courts, we will be having a mention on the 7 billion Triton oil case that is facing Yangesh Devani.
Okay.
Now, this case this incident happened in 2008, and it is alleged that, there was an unauthorized release of oil by the KPC in 2008 without informing the financiers.
Okay.
So Devani, who heads the Triton company, is said to have engineered the release.
Right.
So we will be looking into that.
Anything else before Twitter Fred Upper?
Maybe we will talk about Azimio politics.
Okay.
Azimio also have been having their meetings in different parts of the country just to try and rally unification of their party. And other than that, we have the affordable housing project. Public participation is still ongoing. Today we will be seeing that happening in Nyandarua County. Yes,
right.
in Olkalau.
Right.
And last but not least, we have Mackenzie, who will be in Mombasa locals. Is it Shanzo Tononoka?
Okay.
Facing the children, against children, his cases against children.
Right.
Yeah.
And just also remind the Prime CS, his visit in China enters the second day. And all right, I'm being told the live pictures that we do have for you right here. President William Ruto, as well as his deputy Rigathi Gachagua in Meru, as earlier alluded. You can see just behind them, Meru Governor Kaira Mwangaza there, and as the norm when President, before commissioning some of these affordable housing projects, having that particular stone there, and live pictures there from Meru. Probably have listen into what is happening before you continue.
Rais amemaliza, tunaweza tukamfungulia kwa makofi. Pongezi ya naibu wa rais amemaliza wake.
I have pictures there from Meru, the whole Timau affordable housing project, even as the residents there applauding with while the President, William Ruto, and the Deputy, Rigathi Gachagua, casting those particular bricks on that house. Later, and we'll be giving you more details later on. And I was just giving a whole brief. Today enters the second day, Prime Sias Musalia Mudavadi in China. But then, I'd mentioned this yesterday, but then I think this is that particular day. Sheila, I don't know if you're an artist by any chance.
A
musician?
That depends. No, not really a musician.
You should have been. Because they're going to be paid 1,250 shillings today.
Is that a lot?
With this January, is it?
Wow.
But then anyway, Fred, even as Fred comes in, we're always talking about AFCON, but then round of 16 now enters. Your team,
but I told you, remember I said that Ivory Coast will somehow find its way to the round of 16. They did. And yesterday, all the 4 matches played yesterday, the very final group stages matches, none of them gave a goal. It was just 0-0 draws, apart from the match between Morocco and Zambia.
Yes.
And that match, that result, Morocco versus Zambia, is what allowed Ivory Coast to actually proceed to the round of 16. But it now gives way to a very interesting match. Come Monday next week, Ivory Coast, the host, will be facing the champions, Senegal.
The champions.
Yeah. And I think that's the biggest match of the tournament.
It should be. It should be.
Ivory Coast versus Senegal.
We'll be here on Tuesday to review.
Do you think that they actually stand a chance now?
No, they don't.
Football is very interesting. Everyone had written them all. They're still here with us. Another very interesting game. My director, I remember that day when I said Ivory Coast will go through to the round of 16. He actually stopped everything and came to the studio to explain to me, Kinagobaga, how they cannot make it.
Yes.
Well, they did make it. So my director should rest for now.
By chance,
wait.
luck. So.
But politically speaking, the turnout and the fact that they really have to have a turnout even entering into the round of 16 really plays a huge deal. Because if Ivory Coast fans, because they are the majority there, don't really show up to these stadiums,
you can imagine in 2027 when you're playing host to the AFCON 27, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, and then Kenya is not in the tournament, or Kenya is there and you're eliminated in the group stages, and who will go to the Kasarani or any other stadium to watch?
Football unifies.
And my director, I will really ask him again to just settle down, calm down, because despite his very long explanation, things turned out differently. Another very interesting match coming up this weekend, and that will be, I think, another big game. This is Nigeria versus Cameroon, and that's on Saturday.
Oh, yes.
But our best bet would be on Cameroon. Yes.
Well, the indomitable Lions. Well, Interesting.
Versus
yes,
Nigeria.
Senegal still remain the favourites to win the tournament,
Oh, yes.
but you never know. The hosts might just turn everything upside down.
Oh, yes. 52 minutes past the top of the hour. Asante sana for sticking around. Quite an interesting conversation we're having at around 8 a.m. Kaambiwa weka boundaries. I'll remind you once more. 21 days to Valentine's.
Very interesting conversation. Na hapo kwa Valentine's ndio tunakoseana. May I still have this countdown for January?
It's 7 days
now.
Oh, 6.
When you started,
Okay.
it was 7 days.
Oh,
Now it's 6 days
6.
to the end of January.
Great. That's progress.
Progress within a few hours. So I've already seen my director, Emmanuel Inonda, for those who don't know him, has already bought flowers for Valentine's.
Oh, yes.
You know,
And,
simping cannot be that bad.
oh,
This
yes.
is too early. 20 days ahead.
20 days ahead. Oh, yes.
This is where, because